Greetings and welcome again to a version of How Do I Do This videos. What I'd like to cover today is a quick lesson on opening and using paint to create cutouts, which you can later use with either my gradient page, or you can, once you've made these cutouts, you can manually paint them or custom paint them as you see fit. Anyway, we'll just cover quickly the basics on how to make a cutout and understanding a little bit about what it is. Anyway, let's go ahead and open up the paint window here. Now I've already put a paint icon here, but let's go ahead and show you guys how to find it on your computer. If you click on Start, then on Programs, and then go over to Accessories, you'll have a drop down under Accessories here, and you should have Paint. Once you click on Paint, it'll open up a new window here. Now, the image you generally want to start with, depending upon what overall size you want your project, I generally start with 800 by 600 under Attributes. This gives you a nice full-size, well-rounded, can be used to do video work, animation work, and it's not so big that it gets cluttered up on your larger screens. You'll notice right now that it doesn't fit in the window correctly. That's only because I've lowered the resolution on my screen, so we can cover this and you can see it in very good detail. Now you can choose which units you want to use, centimeters or inches, or black and white or color, and then go ahead and click OK. The objective here is just to learn how to make cutouts. Now, one thing I've learned is cut it down to the very basics when you're trying to make cutouts or you're trying to do something. The best way to approach it is to break it down into its simplest forms. Let's take, for example, a heart. You want to click on the ellipse tool or ellipse tool, and then you want to make a wide line. You want to go down here to your tools, and you want to just do an outline. The reason you want to do an outline is we're going to make this into a cutout for doing later. So you don't really want to fill it or fill it with a box with a filled paint, although you could do it this way. The open form outline drawing is going to be your best bet with the ellipse. Now what you want to do is start with a perfect circle. In order to make a perfect circle, you click and drag down to your right, and you'll notice if you go down to the bottom of your paint window, you have your status bar. And if you look, the numbers will change down there. Okay, so what you can do is go here, and if you go 100 by 100, you now have a perfect circle. Let go of your left mouse button. You're now dealing with a perfect circle to start your project with. Now what you can do is use your selection tool up here. Left click and drag across this. Then you want to copy it. You want to move this over here a little bit, and then you want to right click, and then you want to paste. That will put this over here. Now what I did down here was I switched over to transparent color. Let me switch back to opaque color, and you'll see what happens. It'll cover up the other one. If you're using your opaque or clear background, what it does is it will allow you to set your first stage of your heart. Now the first part of a heart is going to be obviously 2 circles. That's the simplest way to make a heart, and you can line these up any way you like at a different angle. For example, we can do this. You set one down here, put another one in here, you can drop it in, and you can do them at 45-degree angles as well. Now remember, we still have this perfect circle going here, so it's going to be an exact duplicate on every one of these. If you set them up identically, the heart should be pretty close to identical. Now, what you then do is you go to your line tool. Now you still want the wide line, and now we're connecting the dots. Now ideally, what you want to do is make a line. Go from here, go down to here. Go from here, go straight down to there. And go from here, and you go straight down to here. Now what you've done is you've created a connect the dots. Now you can go from here and you go about a quarter of the way around the circle. Cover it up, take it straight on down there. Do the same thing down here. Go down to about a quarter of the way around the circle from the center point there, and you connect the line. Now you've got one heart, as you can see. You do the same thing here. Connect the dots. It's literally this simple. And you go over here and connect the dots. And connect the dots. Now, the question is, how do you get rid of this excess? Well, there's several ways of doing it. The quickest and easiest is probably just going to be, we've already got the line tool selected. Our background color is now white, so all you should have to do is put your line right next to it here. Put your click your right mouse button, and then drag the right mouse button across the line. Go down here, and if you connect the dots right here, you now have an open hole. Go down here, go right here, and then go up here, right click, and you've now created the outline of the heart. And do the same thing for the rest of these. You just go down here, and right click. This runs a little bit long, I do apologize, but now you can just touch the lines there if you like. I personally like to cross the line here. This is hopefully not going to be too long of a video, but we'll see what we get here. Go up here. Go down here. Now, it's going to get a little tedious, but the results are going to be beautiful. You're just breaking down the basics of your heart. Doesn't have to be perfect, however, you can get very consistent results doing it this way. Right click, and voila. Now we've disconnected all the lines in between. So now if we go up here and left click on the paint can, and we right click again, we will unfill all of our hearts. You touch these little areas up here, clear out the little leftovers, and now we have 3 hearts, 3 different directions. Now you can go from here, select them, move them around, do whatever you want to do with them. But the nice thing about it is at this point you have hearts that are freeform, but they're also pretty